143. 2 podcasts in a week. Likely we never left. Look at us. Hey,
working real hard.
Look at us. Who would have
Hardest
thought?
working podcast in the business. Don't let anybody tell you anything otherwise.
Don't double check that at all. This week we are joined by, or actually the second time this week, we are joined by Marcus Brent. Not his second. I'm terrible at this. Our second time hosting. The first time Marcus has joined us in a while. Marcus, how you doing?
Good, gents. How are y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing well.
I promise eventually we're going to have you on for a good movie. Like we had you
This
on.
is a good movie.
This is a good
This
movie.
is a good movie.
Yeah,
We had you on for those who
don't come out
wish me
shitting
dead.
on Mario, bro.
We had you on for The Matrix 4.
That was
You did have me on
real
for John
bad.
Wick 1, and I did see that HBO
Oh yeah,
Max,
we did that.
now just Max. I saw that they put the Fire movie that we talked about with Angelina Jolie.
Those who
Those who
wish
wish
me
me
dead.
dead.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot you came on for that movie.
What a forgettable movie.
I have not thought about that movie since.
I think we're the only 4 people in the world who have seen it.
They're canceling every other movie on that service, but that one will keep.
That one
I
stays.
refuse to call it Max by itself. It's going to be HBO. I'm sorry, guys. We reject this. We reject this wholly and fully, and we don't respect that. And I've been seeing HBO trailers that look fire all week, and I look at the bottom right of the trailer, and it just says Max, and a piece of me dies. I don't like it.
In case you don't know, we're reviewing the Mario movie. We'll get to that secondary to what this news is. Discovery Plus and HBO Max, or in the Warner Bros. Company, finally announced that they were merging completely. And the guy that took over that, David Zaslav, I believe, former Discovery Plus CEO, now
Fuck you,
runs
David Zaslav.
the entire
Not made a
operation.
single good decision. Not one.
Me and all my homies hate David Zaslav. We hate you. And this podcast called this out early when we saw that nasty ass Space Jam 2 movie, and we said, hey, have you ever considered that maybe Warner Brothers is the worst company on the planet? Let me show you all the shit they put into this movie that didn't belong there. And 3 years later, Zaslav canceled Batgirl and ruined everything.
Anyway, they took the HBO out of the HBO Max name, and so now they're just calling it Max, like your dead dog. You remember that dog that y'all had?
Damn.
Bro, we
It's called
started
Max.
with a merger between Cinemax and HBO, and we all said, oh, that's cool, because we didn't care about Cinemax's content. No disrespect.
At
We
all.
cared about the HBO part, and somehow the Max name lasted longer than the HBO name. What is happening?
I mean, y'all are gonna discount the Skinemax that is late night quality
True, but
Cinemax presentation that we had.
We're not going to shit on what Cinemax has brought to our lives. And, I don't think Dex and Roy know this, because they had the internet when, they were
Yeah,
coming
we grew up
age.
easy.
They
Yeah,
watching
they weren't out there
Skinemax
fighting
like
these
us.
wars, TJ.
I didn't know what it was like
we
in
were
the
in the
trenches,
Wild
but
Wild West.
We had to get ours
out
out the mud, bros. We had to get ours out the
shit.
mud.
We were too Christian to have HBO in our household, so HBO or Cinemax. So that never even like occasionally you would go over to a friend's house and it was like that grainy, where you would have to adjust like the rabbit ears or whatever to like maybe you would get a flash across your screen. That's how I came about it. But yeah,
Wow.
we were too of the Lord to have Cinemax in our late night Cinemax in our house.
That's
We
fair.
used to be back in our day, the pay-per-view channels would be like, you could still see them, but they would be like real pixelated and you couldn't really watch. But if you could see pieces of content that would pop up through the pixelations. So if you sat there and watched some nasty movie that you weren't supposed to be watching, you would see a nipple if you look close every now and again. And that we had to get it out the mud, bro.
You fill in the blanks with
our imagination.
with
bro.
your imagination. Teej, you're old enough to find like magazines in the woods. Like that's how you found. Like down by the train track, somebody's dad. And
My
like,
father was not a porn guy. He didn't
Waiting
have
on
a
that
porn
Sports
collection that I
Illustrated
could go
swimsuit
find.
edition like it was Christmas.
But that was too much of a square. He didn't even have porn around the house that we could find. I had to get mine out the mud, bros. I had to get mine out the absolute mud.
The Mario movie.
Oh wow!
How
I
did
just
we
talked
get
about
here?
porn on the Mario movie. That's crazy. I'm sorry if you're listening with your children. I'm very sorry.
No, so that was the biggest news of the week. We don't really do news on this podcast, but HBO dominates our lives. because one, they have the best. HBO has the best premium TV shows, but they also have a backlog of classic movies because they own Turner Classic Movies.
Yep.
So they have all of that. They've changed their pay scale for like what you. I don't know if they're limiting access to the normal, to the what was the normal price, but they're limiting how well you can stream it as far as quality.
Oh yeah, you got to pay more to get 4K.
Yeah, exactly. And so and then they're just changing it to Max, and they're just getting rid of any sort of branding that consumers have. But look, as long as I get it free with AT&T for the rest of my life, whatever. But
Yeah, I don't care. That's all fine. Call it what you want as long as it's free. And please keep the Harry Potter show away from me and my family. Thank
that's
you.
the other thing. They were like,
Zach,
"Hey,
stop this, bro.
you remember how
Stop.
y'all loved Harry Potter? We're gonna redo the entire thing,
And we're gonna make it take 10 years.
and then we're gonna make it worse. It's going to be worse. It's going to be bad and worse. Sorry."
Dex is also hating on the John Wick TV show. Stop hating on TV, brothers. There's good stuff on TV.
In
I'm
the
being
cinematic
stuff.
universe, man. If you're going to create a movie series, then just make fucking movies. All right. If you're gonna make a TV series, just make a TV series. Don't mix the two. Okay.
You're on the wrong
I
side
don't
of
need
history.
Movies that have homework assignments. All right. That's some bullshit. Cut it out.
You wouldn't watch the Donkey Kong TV show right now because I'm in. I'm
No.
fucking in.
Speaking of cinematic universes, the Mario movie again.
The
Super
real MCU is
Marios-
here, brothers. The real MCU.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is a longer title than it actually needs to be. 2023 came out about a week ago. By the time that you're listening to this, 2 weeks ago, I guess. PG, 1 hour 32 minutes, and it's not
Blessed.
even that long, folks. It is.
Blessings.
It is less than that. The story of the Super Mario Bros. On their journey through the Mushroom Kingdom. That's it. That's the synopsis.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No notes.
Yes.
I mean,
7.4 on IMDb, #1 trending popularity movie. You'll see why here in a little bit. Directed by 3 directors, Aaron Horvath, Michael Jelinek, and Pierre Leduc. Written by Matthew Fogel. Stars Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black doing the most. Let's see. There's also a host of other characters. Seth Rogen in here as Donkey Kong. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. So, yeah. I don't know. It is the biggest movie ever. Currently at nearly $500 million worldwide.
That
The
is
first-
coming for
insane.
Avatar 2, baby. It's coming.
The first animated movie to breach the $300 million opening weekend threshold since Frozen 2, another mediocre animated movie.
Don't do this.
And
Don't do this.
yeah, and it has mediocre critics reviews. 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, 96% audience score. While it's nowhere near as thrilling as Turtle tipping your way to 128 lives, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is a colorful, albeit thinly plotted, animated adventure that has about as many Nintendos as Nintendon'ts. Boo! We are on a string
That's
of
awful.
bad puns
Who is
in-
writing these Rotten Tomatoes?
in these
fucking-
Rotten Tomatoes synopsis.
Ugh.
Marcus, you teased that this was like a masterpiece.
I said it was a
Explain.
phenomenal movie. I said it was a phenomenal movie. First off, preparing for this, I read Lord Dex Hinton's review of the movie, and as soon as I got to the part where he said I didn't really have Nintendo products, I just had the OG Wii. I said, "This." I just went back on my browser. I knew what I was getting myself into with these young folk. They say they wasn't out here in the streets. So when they get this slice of gaming history, a gaming masterpiece sitting in their laps, they don't know what the fuck to do with it. So let me
We're
tell
getting to the
you,
heart of the issue. We're getting to the heart
let
of the
me tell
fucking
you, a
issue.
kid of the
boys.
'80s, an OG NES man. This movie gave me everything I needed to see. I'm a Ludwig von Koopa kid. He's my favorite of the Koopalings, and the piano is a Ludwig von Koopa piece of hardware. everything about this movie screams the history of Nintendo. I do understand, going back and toning it down a little bit. I do understand when people are frustrated by the sort of like the thinness of it, but ultimately, and I give it an A for my grade for it. But what I want to say is that people are like holding it to like the Sonic movie or anything like that. Like Dex, you mentioned Puss in Boots, and it's like for stuff like that to happen, this movie coming out had to do good. It wasn't a thing of like, it wasn't a thing with Sonic. They had this sort of like, ultimately at the end of the day, no one cares about Sonic. Like Sonic has very niche fans. I'm one of them, and like ultimately, yes or no, like your miles may vary on it. It's not the end of the world. With Mario is like one of the most iconic pieces of anything that we have in the world. After the 90s movie flop, Nintendo was not A, going to give them a long leash, and B, not going to be out of the running of like what made this movie a movie. So you were going to get a more contained, focused story that sort of gets you in and out. 90 minutes, like you said, it's brisk, goes through everything, hits all the high notes that you want to do, does the hits, and gets you ready for whatever the next adventure is, which is supposedly the Donkey Kong movie. Which great, I got all the Kongs. I got the retro Donkey Kong area in the Super Smash Brothers matchup. I don't know what more do y'all want? We got a kart creator. We got Bowser singing.
A plot is what I want.
There's a plot.
We got killer penguins. We got a star that's just all sorts of depressing, but smiling the whole way.
Nihilistic.
Like, what more do y'all want?
That shit was amazing. That was amazing.
So yeah, that's all I'd say on it. Mario is phenomenal. I had a great time. I've seen it twice now. And yeah, I personally didn't have a problem with Chris Pratt being voiced as Mario. And as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, it's not terrible. And you go on with your business. And I just thought it was a very fun experience, which is what ultimately what I wanted was so much of the time in our media now, it's all negative, depressing shit. And the few highlights that there are that you're just like, oh man, I can turn off my brain, go in, go out, and feel great about myself. And getting hit with 90 minutes of nostalgia was really all I needed.
Dex, I'm going to let you go, but this is my reaction that I think you had as well, and then we'll go Tej, and then we'll go me to round it out with a little bit more negativity. Just simply just a meme of, oh man, can't wait to go to this movie marketed for for kids, and then you get out of the movie marketed for kids, and you go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's what y'all doing.
Yep.
That's what Dex is doing in his review. That's what he did.
I too kind of did the same thing, but Dex,
What's wrong with
follow
y'all?
that up.
Also,
There were
I
7 years
went
in my theater, bros. What were y'all really expecting?
I went to the movie marketed to kids, and actual kids were there, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Get out of here!
Why are they here?
Ew!
What the fuck are you guys doing here?
I'm trying to school or something.
Go to school.
Home. Get
There
a
was
job.
a lot of like 8-year-olds with their friends on a Thursday at noon when I went. I was like, don't y'all have a school to do? Like, what?
Get a
happened?
job. It's hilarious.
Get a job. Do something
Get a
productive.
job, Grouch.
But look, I didn't hate the movie or anything. And I gave it like a B- in my review. So obviously it's not terrible, but you know, I just wanted more, like something. Like I don't know what the plot should have been, but it felt like we just kind of were like, oh, Luigi's lost. That's sad. We gotta go find him. And that's it. Like there was nothing else
Thus
really
is the
to the
plot of-
movie.
Thus is the plot of Mario, but yeah.
Which yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. And like I get it. I just sitting down watching the movie, I was like, we're not like I just saw Puss in Boots like confront mortality. You know what I'm saying? Like I want a little
Also
more
real
for my
cinema.
kids' cinema these days. But I did enjoy the movie overall, right? Like, you know, all the nostalgia is there. I wasn't a big Mario player. Like I've never played any of the Mario games with like stories and shit. I've only ever played like Mario Kart and Smash Bros, which I'm terrible at. You know, shit like that. The sports games or whatever I played. Mario Party and shit. But anyway, yeah, you get in and like fucking Mario's just roaming around the Mushroom Kingdom, and you're like, oh yeah, this looks like Smash Bros. Oh yeah, this looks like Mario Kart. That's fun. Like, who am I to poo-poo that? Like, that's cool. They pulled it off. They made it work. I wasn't bothered by Chris Pratt at all. I don't get the people who were. Like, I didn't want him talking in a shitty Italian accent the entire movie either. Like,
True.
I feel like he did it just the right amount. But yeah, overall the movie is like, it's completely fun, enjoyable, disposable film. Like, you take those. And shout out to feminist icon Princess Peach. Apparently, she's like super woke and super great.
Girl boss Princess Peach.
Girl boss Princess Peach. The dumbest discourse ever, dude.
That is literally the worst.
Wait, is that I knew that was gonna happen. Is that,
Bro,
are you serious?
They said it's too woke and Peach is too much of a girl boss, and they're upset about it. Literally
Peach
the
is
dumbest
too,
discourse
like,
ever seen.
she's too like independent, and
She's
like,
too independent because in the
well.
games Mario has to save her, but in this they said in this game she didn't really need saving. Like, he just derped his way along while she kicked all the ass.
I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done with.
This is why we can't enjoy anything, folks.
I gotta quit being online. I can't do it. It's poisoned us. This isn't a real place. You realize
when
this?
there are only two genders, male and political.
I gotta quit, man. I'm just,
A real discourse that we did not create on this podcast. Actual
no,
discourse
I
happening on y'all's
believe
internet, folks.
you. Ben
Crazy.
Shapiro watching this. Well, I wouldn't have given it a good rating because Princess Peach was actually riding a motorcycle by herself. Women don't do that.
It's a woke mind virus. Drink
How dare she only get through
ultra
the course once in
conservative,
Mario?
ultra right, 100% woke free beer. Don't go see Mario.
This movie had a Rainbow Road in it. What does that say about where we are in the culture? Where we're supporting gay rights in a Mario movie made for kids?
Well, yeah, man. Like B- for me. Like, at the end of the day, like, not terrible, not great. Probably not going to remember very much about it after this podcast is over. But I'm gonna go see the second one when they make it.
Right, because they will make a second one, and they'll make a Donkey Kong movie, and probably a Toad movie. Like, I don't even know who. Like, Illumination. Who do they belong to?
Y'all, the independent scene is Yoshi. Yoshi is coming next, brothers. Yoshi is in the egg.
He'll be in
Yoshi's
the
coming out
second
of the
one,
egg.
like he was in the second game. So yeah,
it's time.
Yeah,
It's
Universal is
Illumination.
yeah.
So they're
Yes.
Peacock.
Yes.
This thing's gonna go bananas on Peacock.
Because Minions or the third Gru movie just was on Peacock when it was out of theaters.
I can't believe there are so many Despicable Me movies.
I gotta tell you, we'll get to you in a
They're
second.
great.
Illumination is kicking Disney's ass at the box office. And Dex, you said they haven't even tried, but that's Disney's fault. Like the last Gru movie off of like a meme stock made $900 million. That Sing 2
insane.
movie made $500 million during the middle of the pandemic. And this one is tracking to make $1 billion. They are cashing checks and taking necks. They don't get, like, it's unbelievable. I'm serious. Like, Pixar needs to stop dropping their movies directly on Disney Plus and make some money. They're Disney. They don't need it. They own ABC. But I'm just saying, like, what is happening?
And quick aside, when y'all went to go see Mario, did they do a trailer for their new movie with Camille Nanjiani in it?
No, what is that?
So Camille Nanjiani is in a new movie of like a group of ducks that are flying.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
migrating. But
I did
in
see
the
a trailer for
trailer, they listed all of their movies like it's a Disney or a Pixar, where it's like they have like 50 franchises that you're about to get scenes of. There's literally only the Despicable
Minions.
Me, the Sing movies, The Secret Life of Pets, and now Mario. But it's like they when they rattled off all of these things, they were like, "Oh, we only have like 4 things here." Here's a new Kumail Nanjiani movie. You're like, oh, where?
Those 4 things are all huge, though. Like those
I
those
get
4
that,
things are
but
all
it's like,
kicking
it's
ass.
like 50 years of cinema that they're trying to rattle off, and it's like, oh, we've only been here for like 5, and we.
And
only
the thing
have-
is, they've cracked some code because whatever they do, like obviously these movies look good, but they've cracked some code to make money, and I think it's just simply make low-minded things for kids because none of these things are like. And the gentle minions are gonna get mad at me, but like they're none of these things are they're not high art. They're not Toy Story 3.
They're not
what I mean?
like Into the Spider Verse or
Yeah.
like you know shit that we're like movie nerds are like, oh, this is amazing, you know, like it's,
They are
they're
literally
not
movies
Studio
for
Ghibli
kids.
movies.
Like, yeah.
So I don't know. And we're going long.
That Duck
Teach.
movie's gonna flop though. There's no way that makes any money.
Animated movies for the longest time have been sort of like the horror movie genre. Like they're kind of proof, box office proof a little bit, except for whatever Disney has put out recently. So I don't know.
I just like Disney hasn't had a hit since the pandemic. Like pandemic fucked their whole game up.
That's nasty. That's nasty to even think about. But
Teach.
time is not real anymore anyway.
No.
All right. This is one of those things where if you have ever seen, and much respect to John Leguizamo, who is a legend and has been in some really great shit. So I'm not shitting on John Leguizamo. But the 90s version of the Mario movie is one of the worst things to ever happen to my childhood ever. It is awful. It is really bad. It's extremely bad.
One of the worst
And
movies ever.
it's not bad in one of those ways where you can go back and think fondly about it and be like, actually, this was good. No, it's actually a piece of shit. Mario, even in 95, was the biggest thing in the world. It should be a layup to be able to make movies in this universe. And they did such a bad job on it that Nintendo was basically scared to do it again.
For 30 years.
Marcus, 30 years. And like Marcus said, this time they were heavily involved because they weren't really involved in the way the movie was made in 95. They weren't really involved. This is an easy decision for the people over at Nintendo. The people over there at this studio have been crushing shit, making movies just like this, making the Despicable Me's, making like these people are making stuff that are absolute hits, and so it makes sense to walk our IP over there and say, hey, cinematic universes are our thing now. We have some great IP for you. Y'all just got to make us some hits. So obviously this is a very this movie is for kids. I had like 7-year-olds in my theater. I had teenagers in my theater, but this movie is like for kids. You can bring your 5-year-old to the Mario movie and have a good time, right? So having that in mind, and also having in mind that, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes scores and I didn't put a lot of stake into it, but I was like, it's probably not that good. But I also love the Minions. So even if people don't fuck with this critically, from a critical perspective, I'm sure people don't really fuck with the Minions from a critical perspective. But every time I've ever watched a Minions movie, I had a good time. Every time. They have not made one that I have not enjoyed. So, and I've seen all of them.
Wait, you saw the last one?
Except for the last one. I haven't seen the most recent one, but I've seen all the other ones. And I've seen a Sing movie, and I've seen other Life of Pets movies. So I like the way they make their movies, but they are for kids. So going into Mario, Marcus had already seen it, and Marcus had already been like, no, it is actually great. This thing is a total nostalgia push. It's complete marketing and a complete setup of a new universe, but I had a fantastic time. There are, I think, 120 something music cues from the game. First of all, the story is light, like it obviously, but also if you've ever played a Mario game that has a story, this is literally how the stories are. He needs to save the princess, and so he's got to go across all these lands to basically save the princess. That's pretty much the plot of every Mario game that doesn't have like a tennis racket in it. Like this is the plot of the game. It doesn't. They make the graphics better, they make the levels harder, but the plot of the game is he's got to get from A to B to get princess, and he's going to use some stars to get there, and he's going to meet friends along the way that will help him. That's the plot of every Mario game. So it makes sense to me that the film would have a similar plot. It wouldn't make sense to have a film like the 95 film where the plot is way like I can't even tell you what the plot of that film is right now, which doesn't make any sense because I know the plot of every Mario game. I played every Mario game, not the I played the original NES version, but I grew up on the Super Mario 1. That's when I started. It was a Super Mario 1. Same with Donkey Kong. I've been playing these games since I was a kid, so the little bits of nostalgia and the Easter eggs this is an explosion of Easter eggs, but they're everywhere, and I was catching them, and nobody can catch all of them, especially on one viewing, but I was catching them, and I was like, this is amazing. I got the right sounds. It makes me feel like I want to go play Mario, and I just had a great time. Now, Pratt, I will agree, his voice did not mess up things for me, which I thought that it would, because I'm a noted Chris
there
Pratt
was a
hater
less
because he
than
stinks.
0% chance that he was gonna fuck this up, and
I thought he was going to fuck this up. I will say, however, because I knew it was Chris Pratt back there on the microphone doing the voiceover when he called Donkey Kong a big monkey or something like that, it did make me pause for just a second and say, "Oh, I don't like Chris Pratt voicing those words into a microphone." But I quickly got over that because I was having a good time. This movie is fantastic, and putting Jack Black into the movie that people are saying takes no risk. Letting him do Tenacious D songs about the Peach is just such a smart decision.
It's like
That
a
stuff
number
is-
one song now, by the way.
It's great, and he's been doing that kind of music for the last 15 years. And so to be able to be like, hey, you can actually do a song here, we're gonna make him sing. The fact that Bowser is in love with Peach is canon. The fact that he dresses up his little minion as Peach is canon. Like, this stuff comes from the game, but he don't sing. He don't do Jack Black for 5 minutes, and it's just so cool that they were able to drop that into the movie. It's perfect, and then we go right back to the Mario movie. Like, I really enjoyed that. That was probably my favorite part, other than the nihilistic Luma, which was the
Best
funniest
character.
thing. There are little kids in the theater that were laughing at these nihilistic jokes. There are 50-year-olds in the theater that are laughing at the nihilistic jokes. That is a rare moment in the movie where they're able to hit a note that both adults and kids can laugh at. There was a kid sitting next to me, no less than 7, who's laughing his ass off at this nihilism, and he doesn't know what nihilism is, and he doesn't understand the joke. He just knows that this dude is saying something that is sad, and everybody else was being happy. Like, that's the kid understands the joke. Like, there are not a lot of moments in this thing.
And the time he's
for
growing up,
adults
he'll
who don't
figure
know
it out in
anything.
about 10 years.
Yeah, it'll hit him. It'll hit him eventually. But they don't make movies like Pixar. Y'all are touching on something very important there. Pixar makes movies to where you can bring your kid to the movie and you're going to love the movie and your kid's going to love the movie, because there are jokes that are going to be above the kid's head that you grit, and there are going to be jokes that are below your level because you're an adult, and everybody wins. This movie is on that lower level, but they did find a couple moments to hit the higher notes where the adults would have a good time. As a Mario super fan, I love this. It was easy. When I walked out of the theater, there was a group of teenagers that were like, well, that was just like an hour and a half long commercial for Mario, but I really want to go play some Mario right now. I felt the same way. I wanted to go home and play Mario. I wanted to go home and put up my NES and play some Mario. I'm ready for more. Seth Rogen was great. I didn't even know Keegan-Michael Key was Toad until I looked at the cast listing afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't notice at all in the moment.
I didn't notice that at all. What they did with Peach was fire. I like a girl boss. She was kicking ass. I like that. They just did a great job. I can't wait to see what they do next. The real MCU is here. This is an A movie. I had a great time, and I can't wait to watch it again.
I agree with most of the stuff that you said. Peaches by Jack Black on Spotify has 5 million streams.
That's so crazy.
I want
Anyway.
better for you, man.
Jax, that shit bangs, bro. I'm sorry. That shit bangs.
It was hilarious, but like, yo, come on.
No, yeah, you're right. Like, it's just an unoffensive animated movie. It's really all it is. Like, it's just it doesn't take
It
any
offended
chances.
the incels, brother. The incels were very offended by the girl bossdom. They were very offended.
Hey, listen to this. If you're listening to this podcast right now looking for something to be mad at, Peach will never fuck you.
Ever.
Not once. Anyway, it's just completely like inoffensive movie, literally made for kids. And like, it sounds weird, like a bunch of like 25 plus year olds up in third and to 30. I didn't want to give away y'all's age, but like, and
Thank
to
you.
30 saying like, oh, it didn't really have that much for me. But what it did have for you, I think they sacrificed making the plot where kids could understand it to be like, Mom, go buy me a new video game. What they did sacrifice in plot and joke structure for that, they gave you in nostalgia drip in showing you like the side scroller nature of some of the scenes, or the Rainbow Road Mario Kart or the Donkey Kong, like the different levels. And so that's where they gave you the nostalgia drip. They didn't give you the jokes, which like we're used to seeing, like Mitchell's versus the Machines or Into the Spider-Verse, anything that Sony has done recently with their animated team, or even up to Pixar. Like they were making period jokes in the last not Pixar movie, but I guess it was the Turning Red.
That's a Pixar movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were making those jokes in that movie, and it's sort of this high-minded thoughtfulness that we've come to expect from animated films.
Our
But
soul is like teaching you the meaning of life and
and
shit
death,
like that.
yeah, like what
That's what's
the meaning
so
of
genius.
loss.
That's what's so genius about what they're doing. They realize that, like, ironically, the hole in the animated market was movies that are literally for kids. Like,
Yeah.
oh, y'all want to go make
We
high
go
art
back
and
to
go
making that.
try to win Oscars? We are about to make $9 bajillion because kids like bright colors and funny sounds and baby voices. That's what they like, and that's what we're giving them, and that's what they gave them, and that shit
I want to
works.
see the Italian plumber fight the monkey man. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like what it was, if we're just being honest, was a ploy for a play by Nintendo that worked, mind you, to get people to buy the game. Like Tej said, it's all it is, all it
Amen.
ever was, and that's all it was. You know, we don't have to think about it much deeper than that. But it's going to make $1 billion, so now we're going to talk about it for 45 minutes. I think in that way it was successful. There's worse propaganda that people have put out to sell stuff via a movie than this. And that's kind of where I land on it. And to that end, it did its job, because you know what the fuck I did? I went and bought Super Mario Odyssey after this. I did it. Sorry.
Great
30
decision.
Yeah, it's 30% off because, of course, brand synergy. They were having a sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Guess who bought that? Me. And then you start playing it and you realize, oh, wait, that's the plot of this movie. It is. The whole plot of the movie was from a game they put out in 2017. And you're like,
No,
ah,
the whole
shit.
plot of the movie is from a game they put out in 1984.
You know what? True.
They all have the same plot.
They all have the same plot. Things I did like about the movie, like I did say, like the nostalgia drip of like when he's running to go fix the clog at the people's house, and he's like, their car doesn't work, so they run and he's jumping over things, and it turns into a literal side scroller video game, and
Amazing.
he's jumping and Luigi's following him. I love that. I love all of the Mario Kart stuff. I thought looked incredible. All of the music drops when Take on Me dropped, when he's taking them to Angry Kong or whatever. Cranky Kong, sorry. Angry Kong. When he's taking him to Cranky Kong and Take on Me is playing, and they kill he kills like 10 people. That was really funny. And of course, the nihilistic star is hilarious because they're like escaping their cage, but still staying there because they want to die. And let's be honest, the best part of this movie is Jack Black, bar none.
That's facts. That's absolute facts.
Sometimes it's hard for animate people, voice characters to stand out. You know, sometimes you go back and you're like, who was that in The Prince of Egypt? And you go back and it's like the most famous people of all time are voicing those characters. But this one, you're like, Jack Black brought like the same sort of magic that I think propelled School of Rock in that way. That manic energy kind of propels his character
Classic
here.
film.
Yeah, to stand out a little bit more. So much so that it was so Jack Blackness that they were like, just have multiple piano solos. That's fine. Whatever.
Incredible.
Yeah, so in that it succeeded. Was I too old for it? Yes. I felt I was too old
Ridiculous.
for because they were selling it to kids, guys. They're selling it to kids, and I was too. I'm nearly 30.
I'm 38, and
Those kids
I
didn't
felt
play
like I was
Mario
right in
1.
the wheelhouse.
Those
They're
kids didn't
selling
play
it for
Mario
them
1 and
for
2 and
Mom,
3.
go buy me Mario. That's what they're
Do you know
selling
how
it
much?
for.
Do you know how much time we logged onto Mario Kart or Diddy Kong Racing? Like I've logged hundreds and thousands of hours onto these games. These kids don't know those games. These kids know Mario Kart because they've made 97 Mario Karts. They all have a Rainbow Road, but these kids didn't play no Donkey Kong. I played Donkey Kong.
What I'm saying is they're trying to
Easter
introduce
egg.
those. They're trying to introduce those to younger generations.
That's true.
We
I
know
will
it.
agree with that.
We know it.
Dex
So-
didn't play no Donkey Kong. I know for a fact. I can tell you right
Absolutely
now,
not.
just looking at Dex, he didn't play no Donkey Kong, bros. He doesn't
Not
know. He
once.
doesn't understand the iconicness of the whole Donkey Kong family and the whole lineage of Donkey Kong.
I ain't
Donkey
played no
Kong, those
Luigi's
games-
Mansion either. None of that.
Luigi's Mansion games are not good. Okay, I'm sorry. And
Secretly,
they did-
one of the biggest selling games of all time.
I know people like it.
Mansion game. They're like sneaky hits every single time they come out.
those games trash. And I'm glad that this movie didn't give Luigi nothing to do. I like Luigi
They
being
made
a
Luigi a
coward.
They
bum.
buried it.
I like Luigi being buried. I enjoy that because for one, I have two hot takes that you're not gonna like on this podcast. The first one is Luigi, total bum. Now, when we get Wario into this universe, Wario, I love Wario. Wario's great, and Wario's Woods is the most underrated SNES game and NES game of all time. Those games are phenomenal. Wario is great. Anyway, Luigi's trash. My second hot take is that when they make the and I'm not even a big fan of Super Smash Bros. I'm really bad at them. I don't play them. I was
There's too
never
much
really on
happening.
it like that. There's too
Marcus
much
says,
happening.
"Yes, you
I
are."
don't-
This
I
must
don't-
have been like a bad taste
He's
in your
played
mouth
me
from
before.
college.
No, this. He was into this game. I'm not into Super Smash Bros. Like that. But when they make the Super Smash Bros. Movie, it's going to be better than the MCU's version Civil War. It's going to be better than that film. When everybody comes in, it's going to be better than Civil War. Mark it down right now. I said it here. I said it right now. Mark it down. It's going to be better.
I'm hyped for a Super Smash Brothers movie
Agreed.
if they make it, but
Oh my God, Donkey Kong has just killed Mr. Game and Watch.
The Zelda
I just
movie,
killed,
like, come on,
killed
like,
the mountain climbers.
We're gonna get a legitimately amazing Zelda movie. Zelda, I've logged thousands of hours with Zelda and
never
and
played
Link.
it.
I can't wait, bros.
And that was just in the last Breath of the Wild game.
Tears of the Kingdom next month, baby.
I've
I'm
like
tapped
thousands of
in.
hours just on that last game alone.
One of
I
my
haven't
roommates
turned my
in
Switch
college
on
fucking
in
loved
months.
Breath of the Wild. He like played it every single night. Like
It's
and
good. It's
I would just sit there watching him like, why? Why are you
1,000
doing
hours long. It's so long. It's
this?
unbelievable.
Like, bro, you're in pre-med. You don't have time for this.
Zelda is great. I plugged in
Nobody-
my Switch for the first time in months just because Zelda about to come back out. I'm about to be all the way tapped in. I love Zelda.
Nobody does anything in pre-med. I've learned that. Every single person that I knew in pre-med was just like binging series on Netflix.
Don't let them hear you say that.
I know.
They will fight.
They're gonna
you.
be they're gonna be very mad at me in my low paying job. But look, every single person that I knew in pre-med was just like, hey, do you want to drink tonight? What is going on? It can't be
It's called stress management.
Hey,
okay, sure.
organic chemistry is going on.
No, so what this really was is a ploy for Nintendo, who is one of the biggest companies in the history of ever, by just selling video games, nothing else, not putting out TV shows or anything.
Thank God.
They finally opened a Nintendo Land. Their plan is to be the next Disney sort of thing. That is what they want to do. And this was the first step for them for that, because whatever you think about movies nowadays, it still reaches more people than previous and gets you to a wider audience than people that play video games. Now, I will say, like, the highest grossing video games always outgross movies because you sell a video game for $50 a pop, but now it's $75 a pop.
Yep,
Anyway,
$60.
So fucking gross.
Unbelievable.
believe
Dex,
we
why do
went
you
out
hate
this as
multiple
a
streams of
society.
income? Why do you? We serve our Disney, our Marvel overlords. They
That
make
was a
TV.
thing that happened
Why do you hate
recently.
this?
What I'm
that they were
specifically
like-
hating right now is like the cost of video games skyrocketing. It's
Oh,
like
that's fair.
why is
That's fair.
MLB The Show 23 original like basic edition $70, dog?
You
Like,
got to get that on Game Pass, bro. Come to the dark side.
and why
Yeah,
is there
that
a
happened
fucking
all of a
deluxe
sudden when-
edition with fucking 35 card packs or whatever? I don't want that bullshit, man. Like, I just want to play a fake baseball game. Leave
Are
me
you going to play
alone.
the Negro Leagues or are you going to play white baseball?
I am absolutely playing the Negro Leagues when I eventually buy that
Swag.
game for $40.
Swag.
Yeah, when they let it go down on some sale in June.
I just bought FIFA for like $25. It's finally on sale. So-
Tell me if they have
No
the Jackie
longer FIFA.
Robinson storyline DLC, because if they have that in that game, I'm purchasing. I want to feel the racism on my television. I'm ready, bros. I am so ready.
Still one of the funniest tweets that you've ever had. I will not say the jokes, but it's very
I'm
funny.
ready.
fucking
I'm ready
racist
for- I'm
quick
ready for
time
that.
events.
Yeah, the quick time events. Oh, no. So what this was a ploy to try and get into that space and try to expand an already vast empire. And it's probably going to work.
It's definitely going to work.
There's
It's
no
already
problem.
worked.
It's
Now
already
there's-
worked.
Now there's mixed reviews. There's mixed reviews on that actual Nintendo Land. I'm not sure if it's like worth the price of admission. It's all the way in Japan, so like I'll never know. But from what I've heard, is that meh, you know? But
Nintendo
Well,
Land
you
should
just
be a
opened the one
layup
in LA.
idea.
are they going to open one in LA?
Yeah, I think so. The one in LA should already be open.
I don't need to ride any rides that have Nintendo themes. I just need them to have every Nintendo system on big ass screens and let me walk around and play my favorite Nintendo games on big ass screens for the couple hours that I'm there. That's all I need. I don't really need a ride.
Do that at home. What are you talking about?
No, I want a mega screen so everybody's watching you play Super Smash Brothers. Everybody can see it as you walk around the park.
Why would you
But I
want to
wanna play
get
Smash.
worked in Super Smash Bros. In front of everybody?
That was my example. I'm not playing Smash. Smash is
The
trash.
entire
It's Smash is
city
for
of
nerds.
Tokyo needs to feel teased in the
But
gulag.
if-
all right.
If I'm playing Mario Kart, I want the world. I want the whole park.
Which
to
he's
see
not
me
much
cooking.
better at.
That's not true. I'm great at Mario Kart. Do not let this man lie to y'all. I'm great at Mario Kart. And Diddy Kong Racing, I was the champion of my neighborhood. Nobody could beat me at Diddy Kong Racing. Nobody. I was
That was-
amazing at that game.
That's old enough to have kids now. That statement.
Listen, Diddy Kong Racing was him, bros. Mario Kart was him, but Diddy Kong Racing was also him. I had a great time.
I'm not gonna
these
lie.
games are
Before
iconic,
we
man.
started recording this podcast, I had no idea there was a Diddy Kong racing game.
I can't believe this, bro. You don't know nothing about Diddy Kong. I see that you disrespected his name. You don't know nothing about Diddy Kong, bros. He is him.
By the way, I gave this movie a B-. I'm with Dex.
The game came out
Perfectly-
in 1997. No,
Golly.
That was 64 hours, brother. Y'all don't know the 64 dropped. It changed everything, man. I changed everything.
Wow, that movie is old enough to pay taxes. That's crazy.
1997.
They that's back when you actually had to go to somebody's house with a controller
I missed
and
that.
play.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
you have to have a
bro.
sleepover. Everybody needs to bring a controller.
Bro,
we're gonna sit
everybody
here
had
and play
different color
GoldenEye.
64 controllers. You pull up,
If
you
you
bring your
came to
controller.
somebody's house with your controllers and you were losing, you could be like, "All right, I'm out of here. Fuck y'all." Like,
Just
ain't nobody playing
hey,
no
get me
more.
my controller. I'm going home. Yank
Ain't no
my shit out your,
shit
get my shit out your system.
Wait, Marcus, I know you were cold at 007. I know it. I just know it.
Oh man, get me in the library. It's over, bro.
I used to hide in the bathroom at the little complex thing.
Of course
I
you
hide in the
did.
bathroom. I used to rack up so many kills hiding in the bathroom because that's where the gun respawn was. I just sit right there next to the big gun respawn.
Cheating.
I used to be
Oh
cooking.
man, and
boy.
then the best part
I
is when
invented camping.
is when you're spawn camping because all the depths are on rails. So you're like, oh, you're right there. Hold on, let me
Run
get
like
there.
this.
Yeah,
I
gotcha.
invented camping. I literally invented it. It was my idea first on 007. I did that.
Wait, Teej, this is a very important question. I want you to listen carefully. Did you play with Odd Job?
Of course I did. I was a
Oh my
cheater.
God,
you played
Yes,
with
I
Odd
did. Of
Job.
course I did.
What is wrong with you?
A classic cheater.
You know how many gunfights he would win just because people would, oh, you fucked up. I got the golden gun. It's over. I was cold with the golden gun. I couldn't be stopped. I was so good. That's when first-person shooters were the right speed for me, and not everybody had the advantage of being online all day like these fucking nerds on Call of Duty. Fuck
Bruh.
Call of Duty. I hate that shit.
Dog, these fucking Fortnite kids, man, get a life. Go make
Man,
something
Fucking
of
job.
yourself.
Imagine 007 in 2001. You're using aimbot.
When the Rumble Pack came out, the game changed, bro. The Rumble Pack
Pack.
came out. The Rumble Pack came out. Diddy Kong Racing got even more lit, bro. They made the game even better.
No, so anyway, yeah, Dex has no idea about these conversations because, like,
Dex was not in these streets.
I played
Dex, what's your relation to Ocarina of Time?
Never played it.
Oh,
That's a Zelda game, right?
Yes,
yes, it
it
is.
is. It's like the Zelda game.
Cool. I didn't realize Zelda was the name of the girl and not the guy
Oh, no!
until like high school.
Come
Like
on,
I just was not a part of this world.
Zelda also has the same plot in every game. Same plot. Same exact plot. Doesn't matter. I'm going to be there every time. Wonder what I'm doing this time. Oh, word. I got to
Saving
travel to
Zelda.
distant lands and save. Oh, sure. Okay. I'll do that. I'm in.
Is Zelda even bad like that for all this saving? Like, is that like
I think she's a teenager.
okay?
Yeah, it's not, Link's not doing it to get laid. He's doing it because he loves the game.
Is Link not a teenager? Is Link a grown ass man?
Well, now in the new games, he's kind of grown looking, so I would say he's probably a
but
grown up in the new games.
They're always similar ages.
Anyway,
There's never a weird age situation between the two of them. They're always, if we age him up,
Yeah.
we age her up too.
there's a weird age situation with Mario. How old is Mario? Is he
Mario's
45 or
invincible.
in this movie he's like 22? He's
Yeah,
still living at
in his
home.
20s.
So that's a hard 20.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
they had-
the only plot of the movie is that Mario's dad thinks Mario sucks. That's it.
Taking him
Which
down
I'm
with
like-
them.
You know how much like you pay a plumber nowadays? Why
Their
is he not
first
in
job
being a
was in this
plumber?
gigantic high rise. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Real quick, and we don't have to go much longer than this, but are there any games that can sort of do this thing? And maybe it is that just these are now animated movies. And I think it works specifically for this because, like you said, the lack of plot it is the same plot over and over and over again. So we're not going to make like a live action Mario movie just doesn't make sense
Please
because
no.
it's so cartoony to begin with.
Yeah.
So we've seen The Last of Us, which, you know, Dex doesn't like, but to varying degrees of success, it's going to win Emmys.
And Dex is hating on all the good
And,
shit today. This is
um,
crazy,
All right,
man.
man.
This is
And
crazy.
it's gonna win Emmys, and it's gonna have a great second season. But like, it is the bell, or it is the high watermark rather for video game adaptations at this point. There's varying degrees of how you feel about the Uncharted movie, which is actually not good. Going back and looking at it,
No, I thought it was fine.
it's
Yeah,
it's perfectly
fine.
like okay, like
No worse
Yeah,
than
it's
Mario.
Definitely, it's definitely just fine.
As the leader of the Tom Holland fan club, we consider that a success. We consider the movie.
Mark
Yeah, we'll
Wahlberg's
take
the
that.
worst casting
Yeah,
of
he
any
stinks.
casting.
So
he stinks.
bad.
He
It's
stinks.
unbelievably bad.
He stinks.
So Marcus, and this is a question I'd pose to you: is there video games that you think, because like you out of all of us, you probably have the most knowledge of this, that can properly be
Easy.
adapted for a film, because video games are so long?
Yeah.
Or is it, do we have to do the miniseries thing?
I mean, the problem with something like an Uncharted movie is that it didn't do the things that like Sonic, Last of Us, and this movie did, which was like catered to the fan. Like they made it more of like a Mission Impossible-y kind of feel to it. And it's, while that is part of it, ultimately at the heart of it, like Uncharted was a male perspective to like the Tomb Raider franchise, right? I think if you're looking at it, if they do the due diligence, which I think they will, with like a Metal Gear Solid franchise, that'll be great, especially if what's his face from actor who is Poe from the Star Wars franchises.
Oh,
Oscar Isaac?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, thank you. He's supposed to be Snake in that franchise, so and Hideo is going to be a part of it strongly too. So like as long as you're keeping a BioShock as well, as long as you're keeping those people that are making the IP, like Neil Druckmann having his fingers all over The Last of Us is what makes it so good. Is that like, well, yes, they're just following the path of the game. Like he is also helping shepherd that along so that it is still keeping the essence of those games intact. And really, with any of these IPs, like you have to like Shigeru Miyamoto was all over the Mario movie. Like, and again, like I said before, like Mario just was, or excuse me, Nintendo just was not going to allow them to do whatever the hell they wanted with this franchise. They were going to be involved. So, like, as long as those people are helping steward this stuff along, a lot of the regular game IPs are fine. But like I said, big heavy story based games like the BioShocks, the Metal Gear Solids, like those are going to be better movies because while Metal Gear has a long convoluted story by this point, 5 games in, like at heart it's still like a spy movie. So like that stuff can be articulated into a movie or a show, a limited show. But like I said, like you just have to be able and open to having those original creators be on set, bounce questions back and forth off of them, make sure that they're involved because that stuff is important. They know how important it is, and they won't let the Hollywood of it all get to a point where like all that stuff gets out of control. They will hone that stuff in, and that is why those things work out the way they do.
It also just depends on the filmmakers too at this point.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, they used to pass these projects on to people either on the come up who weren't ready for it or struggling filmmakers. I mean, the Resident Evil movies aside, who have all been kind of made by one guy, the other P.T. Anderson. It always sort of felt like they were these low rent things that movie studios now, like movie studios were like, we have this IP, we bought it, a lot of people seem to like this, so let's just throw it on the movie screen for these nerds.
Exactly.
Now it feels like because we're so starved for IP these days that they're like, wait, this is another thing to make money that wait, people care about this actually? And you're like, yeah, only for 40 years people have cared about video games, you know? So no, it just depends on the filmmakers because now we have Chad Stahelski is going to make a Rainbow Six movie and a Ghost of Tsushima movie. And
already
sign me up.
Yeah.
Didn't that game like just come out like not that long?
I mean, basically, and there's only one of them, but so what? We tapping in.
Yeah,
4 years ago. And that seems to me like that works, you know, like that sort of, it's so cinematic. There's a lot to take from that. I think a lot of people that didn't play the game, like it would resonate for people. I mean, stuff like Splinter Cell, which has been in production forever with Tom Hardy. Like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, like sorry to cut you off, William, but like you were saying about Ghost of Tsushima, like that at its heart is just a samurai movie. So like the base of what this is not hard for it to be translatable. You just have to put out a good product. People will show up. Like you've got the fan base of the game that will all automatically show up if it looks good. So that the stuff like the games write themselves in these movies for a lot of the cinematic stuff. Just put out a good product is ultimately what you were saying, which again depends on the studio, depends on what kind of director is involved, who's writing it, like all that stuff is important.
And Sony seems to be at the forefront of this because, like you said, a Ghost of Tsushima movie, well, they have the Uncharted thing that they're hoping is going to be a franchise.
God
the
of
Last
War is
of Us
coming too.
God of War is coming, and then what? Aloy, Horizon Zero Dawn is also going to be, I believe, a series, which I'm not quite on Netflix, which I'm not super happy about. It also, again, depends on who gets this shit too, because HBO got The Last of Us, and I couldn't think of a better pairing to get that than
Facts.
HBO.
Facts.
So, like, could Netflix just fart out some of this content?
They will.
And, yeah, and that's kind of just disappointing.
it's
But
probably
do
going to
I-
be ass.
Also, Netflix is making like a animated Tomb Raider series, so that'll be interesting.
They've
doesn't
had
sound like a good idea at
success.
all.
Series.
They've had success with like Arcane and things of that. Some other, I believe, like World of Warcraft stuff that
Did
they're.
they do the Cyberpunk show, or was that
Oh,
somebody
Yeah,
else?
they did.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
Yes.
So they've had success with the art, with the animated space for this as well. I'm just more interested in the live action of it all and how that translates.
Superior medium. I'm sorry.
A lot of people would disagree with you, but that's fine.
I'm
BioShock,
sorry. I know I'm wrong and bad for saying that, but live action is better. It just is.
BioShock, and Fallout.
Dex is
are
hating
other
on
two that are
everything.
coming
This
out.
is crazy. Dex is crazy. Dex is crazy. His level of hate on this podcast has been higher than maybe ever. His hate per minute averages are up through the roof, brothers. I hope y'all seeing this.
Oh man, Dex or Tej, do you have any games that like you are dying to see be made into? I mean, Tej hasn't finished the game since '92, but
Don't do that. Please don't
The
lie. on the
Reagan
podcast.
administration.
Please don't lie on the podcast. I do have a bit of a hot take for a game that
Another
would
one.
make a great movie, or really not great movie, but like great broadcast, like great on TV. It would be NCAA 2024. When it drops, it's going to be incredible. They should make that game into real life. They should actually play college football. That would be fucking fire cinema. I think that would be great.
Dex?
I want this game, like it has like lore kind of, but it's not like a story game. Apex Legends, I feel like they could make an incredible TV series out of. Like there's so many characters and stories and all this lore and shit, and it's like a battle royale game for people who don't know. Like, so there's not really like a story to follow. You just have like this foundation of the characters or whatever. But I feel like if somebody put the time and effort in, they could make some incredible shit out of that.
Have they never tried to make a Call of Duty movie? Have they never done that? That's massive IP?
That's just every war movie.
they tried, but yeah, it then becomes like, what is the thing that we're doing? Is it?
Got
It
it.
just is a war movie.
Well, it would focus on Price because most of the most notable games in the franchise all have Price as the main character. Another one I forgot was Dead Space. Dead Space would also be a great movie.
They
Also, Red
are-
Dead would love
Red
it.
Dead. Well, I don't.
Red
I'm,
Dead would be great.
I'm
Oh,
shocked they haven't made that yet. And that should be out. But
John Marston, one of the greatest video game characters of all time.
they are making a Borderlands movie with like Eli Roth, but he got kicked from that project. Craig Mazin wrote it, and Tim Miller had to go and reshoot it. The guy behind Deadpool. So that's an interesting thing. That's like,
Kevin Hart's in that movie.
yeah. So that's already in post production.
Just getting checks out here. My
Jack
God.
Black is in that movie already.
Can we get
Jamie
an
Lee
NBA
Curtis.
Street video game?
NBA Street. And
They
there's
just
one
had like
more.
fucking Zion on film, just like doing crazy dunks and shit. Like,
That'd be
let's
the
do
first
it.
basketball he's played all year.
Please, man, we don't have to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he on the sidelines when they got bounced in a play-in game
Please,
last night?
man. All right, dude. Talk about CJ McCallum, bro. CJ McCallum was out there. What the fuck did he do? He
McCollum
did
was
nothing.
terrible.
Bro,
fuck did he
I'm so pissed at Zion for not playing last night because now I got to deal with all the Oklahoma City Thunders fans. I think they done some shit. Just
They did do some
They
shit,
won the
brother.
fucking
I mean,
game.
they're
Nah,
gonna
absolutely
beat
crazy.
Minnesota tomorrow.
They are.
So-
And Giddey went crazy, bro. In his first playoff game
I
ever,
would-
the man had
fuck Josh
31,
Giddey.
10, and 9.
I would put good money that they're not going to get a rebound tomorrow. They're
But
not
it
a
doesn't matter
center.
because
Minnesota's
Cat's
not.
gonna make a stupid cat foul. He's gonna get 4 fouls
No.
before the second
That's
quarter
facts.
is over.
And
They're
also,
are
SGA is him,
making-
brothers. I'm sorry. OKC
No, he's
was
not.
right the whole time. They won. Once
No.
they get Chet out there, it's scary hours for the West brothers.
No.
I think they won. I think unfortunately they are levels above us right now. And I don't like
Future
it, but I think it's
force.
true.
Does
Chet have 2 working feet.
no.
if he does, it's gonna be nasty out there. Though they're
Future
building something
force
out there.
seed. All right. They are a future force.
Remind me of those
That'll be
Indiana
their peak.
Pacers teams that we
But-
said
but
were going to
the
be, or
only
those
way that we
Atlanta
could
Hawks
stop the-
teams that all had those 25-year-olds that we were.
The
so
only
scared
way
of.
we could stop the Death Star is if we get Wemby. He is our Luke Skywalker, brothers, and we are going
Adam
to get Wemby. He's our
Silver is
Luke.
going to give us Victor Wembanyama because he needs to restore order in
Facts.
the NBA. The Rockets have to be good or the NBA falls apart. The Sacramento Kings are out here in the fucking playoffs. That's how crazy y'all let shit get when the Rockets are not good. You see what the kind of bullshit y'all be on? The Sacramento Kings out here running around like they Pac, lighting beams and shit. All right, look what y'all
John's all
caused.
out here dancing the videos.
John Morant out here dancing in the videos, like holding guns up on IG Live because y'all know how to act when the Rockets aren't good.
The
We have to
NBA
restore
literally
order.
doesn't hit the same when Rockets Twitter isn't terrorizing y'all. Y'all hate us because y'all can't be us, brothers. And we know y'all missed that old feeling, and it's coming back. When we get Wemby, we're coming right back out here, guys. We're gonna be
Bro,
back.
Caitlin Clark was the hottest shit in America for like 2 weeks and was dominating NBA ratings because the Rockets weren't out here restoring order. When the
why?
Rockets was hot, they were dominating TV ratings. Rockets versus the Warriors was can't miss television. And now nobody gives a fuck about NBA games. Everyone's like, I'll just wait till the playoffs. None of this matters, blah, blah, blah. Because the Rockets aren't there. They need us. Give us Victor.
That's fine.
Pray for Victor.
Have y'all started writing y'all's Brandon Miller excuses yet?
Oh God, please stop! Don't please. Let's.
I
end
will
the
do no
podcast.
such
Let's
thing.
even put it
Let's end
into
it.
circulation,
Let's
bro.
end
It's not gonna
Let's
happen.
end
We don't
This
worry
is a
about that.
Victor Wembanyama city. All right.
Well,
He
man.
needs us.
Saying I've started writing my apology tour already.
Everyone has already said that the Paris, France of the United States is Houston, Texas. Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows this.
There's already a Paris in Texas, bro. You don't have to go that far.
It's
We
just
are
a short
the-
4-hour drive from.
The Houston Rockets are the world's team, bro. Like, we're the shit in China.
Facts.
Jalen Green is from the Philippines, not from the
Facts. About to
Philippines.
take
but
over
he's-
France. We really out here.
Yeah. We got Turkey. Shout out to Shingun. Like, we are the world's team. We need Victor to build our empire globally.
Back to video game movies. Gran Turismo is actually coming out in
That's the other one.
August
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Is there a story to Gran Turismo?
I have
thought it was just
no
literally just
idea.
racing.
Just racing.
If
The
that's just
ultimate wish
anything
fulfillment
Ford versus
tale
Ferrari, I'm tapping all the way in. I'm
of
saying
a
that right now.
teenage
That's free
Gran
cinema right there.
Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver based on a true story.
Boo.
Wait, that's the story of the game. That's the story of this film.
Yeah, and it has Orlando Bloom and David Harbour, directed by Neil Blomkamp. The last thing he did was Chappie, but you may know him from District 9.
Do we
That sounds like
Orlando
absolute butt.
Bloom? Is Orlando Bloom out in these streets still? Is that a thing?
No, but
That sounds
that's fine.
Why- You don't put the actual game into the movie. That doesn't make any sense. This person plays the game. That's trash. What are we doing?
We play the game Gran Turismo, so you're going to be in the movie What?
That sounds like the worst version of Ready Player One I've ever heard. That sounds awful.
Can you imagine if Ellie in The Last of Us booted up an old PlayStation 3?
I
to
would have
play
turned the
Last
TV
of
off
Us?
immediately and joined Dex's TV boycott. I would have said, you know what? I'm done with TV. You're right. Stop putting shit on TV. I would have been mad as hell.
All right. Anything else? What we're watching? What we're talking about? Marcus, what have you been watching lately?
Well, you guys were talking about. I'm so bad with names right now, but Succession was great. Saw the last episode. Roy, and I know you need to start.
Maybe in like 3 years when everybody. I'm gonna be the dude that tweets like, "Can y'all believe this? This girl was great," and everybody's gonna be like,
I'm
"Boo!"
gonna block you on that day when you're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that this is actually lives."
I can't believe nobody told me about this Succession show. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've
you
already
guys
got-
seen this like crazy ass show.
I've already got my pre-order in for The Last of Us season when it comes on home release, so already there.
Swag.
Another side tangent. I'm pretty sure that The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, like as a whole, are my favorite game of all time now.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Greatness.
like hands down. I rolled credits
The
on
only
Resident
game
Evil 4
that-
a few days ago.
Makes sense.
which is
Nice.
good.
Even Marcus beat those games. He never beats games. Even Marcus beat
That's
those
untrue. That is untrue. Lies
Sounds like
propagated by
Jack-
one TJ Finley. And the show Harrison Ford just did on Apple was really
Shrinking?
good. Yeah, Shrinking, very
I need
good.
to watch
Had a
that.
blast with that show.
After I watch Beef, I'm tapping into Shrinking.
Oh,
Beef
I
is what
started
I've
Beef
been
last.
watching.
Yeah, I started Beef last night.
I can't believe Dex started the show before me. I'm really failing.
We're gonna
What
do
a-
a beef episode. I am riveted.
What a crazy show! Like, what's
I don't know anything about it, so don't tell me. Literally, I don't even know the concept of the show. I just know Ali Wong, Stephen Young. That means I have to be there. That's all I know. That's all I know. Also, Ali Wong,
And
I
I am
love you.
watching Ted Lasso with you, Royden.
Thank you. Solidarity.
Disgusting.
Football
It
is
is
life.
It is a TV show. I'm more down on these previous 2 seasons than I was the first season. So
It seems like everyone is.
yeah,
That show stinks, and Sudeikis is
They're
bad, and
just-
I've been telling
they're
y'all
just
that
different
since the
from
first
what
season.
what that first season was. Is
it really was.
so
I
it's
told
more
y'all from the
deeper,
beginning that
getting
that show
into
was
more
bad.
Ted Lasso's character.
I told
I'm
y'all
not
from the
saying it's
beginning.
bad. You're wrong about it being
No, it's
bad,
bad.
but I'm just saying it's not as good. I think as
It
the
is a
first.
comedy that does not make you laugh. That is what it is. That is literally what it is. It does not make you laugh. It just makes you feel good, and that's fine. But it is not funny. There's nothing funny about the Sudeikis stick. I just hate it. I'm not into Sudeikis. He's not him. He's not him.
I will not be watching. I'm sorry.
Anything else? What's next on the agenda? I refuse to see the Evil Dead movie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, not at
I'm
all.
tapping into Evil Dead. I need to still
Why-
see
why don't
Dungeons
you
and
wanna see it?
Dragons.
It looks,
That looks
he's scared.
way
Fuck.
too scary.
All those Evil Dead
I
movies are
am
pretty scary.
a coward.
so-
I mean, the first few Evil Dead movies look like I get the comedy of it and the schlockiness of it, I guess, if you will, but like this one looks fucked. Like, and I don't know.
I'm deeply disturbed every time I see that trailer in a movie theater, and I've seen it
I'm
like
tapped in.
18 times.
Are y'all at all interested in Renfield this week?
Okay,
Oh,
those
yeah.
trailers look like absolute shit. They look awful.
I want to be so bad.
I'm going
no,
to
you
see
don't.
it next week.
I want to give Nick Cage his money for being in another blockbuster try, but I don't know.
And I still haven't seen Incredible Talent from last year.
It was good
Incredible
either.
Talent is good. Watch that instead of seeing Renfield, because Renfield looks like it's about to be bad.
I want to be Aquafina Hive so bad, and she makes it so hard.
Is she in Renfield?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not even know
She's a
that.
police
I literally
officer in
didn't know that.
Renfield.
Yeah, apparently, like her story is just like vaguely tangentially connected to the vampire shit going on, and I'm like that pains me because she was really her in the farewell, and I was like, yes, I am in.
Absolute
Aquafina
greatness.
is good. And since then, bro, she's made it so hard, so hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
63% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's much higher than I thought I was going to open. By the way, I thought that shit was going to be in the 30s.
Yeah, I have no idea where I probably will try and see it, but
I mean, we've got Guardians in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Real cinema
Kill
returns.
all them niggas. Kill all of them. Please.
you are big
I'm
on that.
begging
You want
I
everyone to
begged
die.
you to kill Ant-Man. You did not kill Ant-Man. I still am not over it. But you can tap us right back in if you kill all these niggas. They all have to go. I'm sorry. I've had great times with them. Gunn is gone. I don't want to see them anymore. Let's do it.
None of
Let's
them want to
cry.
be there either.
They all want to
Oh,
leave.
Pratt wants to be there. What are you talking about?
Okay,
Oh, well, that's
Pratt,
true.
the one that we don't want to be there,
Kill
wants to
him
be
first.
there.
Kill him first.
Yeah, fucking Zoe Saldana's like, get me out of here. Batista's like, get me out of here.
All right, we're going long.
Bradley Cooper records from his house, so he don't care. He does
And
that shit on
he's
the
the
Zoom.
first
Weasel
to
can
go
catch a
because-
couple more of these tracks. Just saying, I approve.
I'm gonna fund my weird art house projects with these voiceovers that I do in 10 minutes.
What a
Yeah.
legend.
Anyway, you can find us at One Take Pod on Twitter, One Take Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for liking, downloading, and subscribing. Go follow us on YouTube as well. like, rate, and review. We really appreciate that. If you just give us a swipe on 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, it does go a long way to getting these downloads. You can find us at less underscore humble Teej. The multiple Teej accounts have been gone to the wayside
Rest in peace to my
since
OGs.
we even started this podcast. At Lord Dex Hinton, at Roy Nogeltree, and you can find at Marcus J. Brent talking about movies, video games, and you're not doing like fantasy baseball or anything, are you?
No, I only do fantasy football. I only do
Okay.
fantasy.
All right.
But yeah, it's baseball season. Astros are still the Astros. Awesome as always.
Please don't do this, man.
We'll see you in October, TJ, when you care for that week, and then you're gone because
Did the
the
Yankees get
continue
run
to
rules
fall to
today?
us.
All
The
right,
Yankees got
don't.
run rules.
Bitches.
today.
There's no run rule in the MLB. Even I know that. Don't stop this. Stop this right now.
No, I think they
9-0
we'll call
in the
this one
first
quits.
inning. Just
We'll call this
disgusting.
one quits. 11-2. Gross.
It happens, brothers.
Disgusting.
We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. That's the thing about baseball. You just got another
Carlos
game tomorrow.
came out there and started banging away again.
Bro, I can't imagine showing up like you just started work and like you're just down 9-0. Like you're just, you gotta work the whole rest of your shift down 9-0.
coming into the office, spilling coffee on yourself, and having 18 unread emails like, please respond. God damn it.
Why'd I even come in today?
Yeah, so find us at One Take Pod on all of those platforms. Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag Sport from Pew.
All right, a good person in theaters and also streaming because they knew it wasn't great to begin with, but we're still going to do the thing. We're out.